Things we did together was when Simon Cowell wanted to launch X Factor in America.
Right.
And it kind of...
It was like summer camp with Simon.
It was mad.
Remember?
Every Sunday at his house, got hours and hours going over all the contestants.
This could be a whole podcast on that.
Yeah. And then...
Because it was interesting. So Simon's he's very smart. So he puts people like ourselves in a room all together, like 20 of us.
Yeah.
And it's probably the first time a lot of us had met each other. Yeah. We'd all heard about each other. And he said, I'm going to go find, the cats in LA or wherever and put them all in a room and let them, fight for a scrap of food. He knows what he's doing. And, but I really had fun challenging him. It became a game with... The real show is the show behind the show.
The Sundays at his house. That was incredible.
I mean, you could film that.
Yeah.
That was spectacular. Those production meetings with him when he had his bathrobe and his what was it, Newport cigarettes and his red wine. And he's the best. But, what was really amazing about that is that there were a lot of, I'm not going to say names, there were a lot of producers that couldn't hang. They couldn't make the cut. And, to our credit, I would say yourself, Julian Bonetta, and myself, we really ended up being the three guys.
Right. Yeah.
And we did it for 2-3 years, right?
Yeah,
and
it's crazy. And
it's great experience. It's great. It's like a boot camp.
Yeah.
Because everyone, so basically there's after a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night, we would have to go in some tiny cubicle office at CBS and work up songs for next week.
Yeah.
And
windowless little
horrible. It was a sweatshop.
Yeah.
And some
That's
of them
probably on purpose too.
Oh yeah, it's part of his vision. And the idea that what was beneficial for me was I learned little tricks from you.
Yeah, what did you learn from me?
Okay. This is what I learned from you. You started bringing in a good microphone.
Oh, yeah.
You brought in a 48 or a 47. And so you were getting vocals in real time while you were teaching them the songs.
Yeah.
Check. So I started doing that. And same with Julian. He had a little process too. So I started bringing a little rig, my laptop, and I would record them and I would quickly, and then I found out the fastest way to do it was, because let's say it's Time After Time or some song, I would quickly go on YouTube and find like Time After Time instrumental.
Yeah.
So I could spend more time with the contestant.
You don't have to learn it first. Yeah, you can go straight to it. And
I just went straight to an arrangement, and sometimes you'd find a cool arrangement, and you're like, oh wow, I wouldn't have thought to do it that way.
Yeah.
You completely just rip it off to a certain degree, and enough to get a vocal out of them. And then I would take that vocal, bring it back to my studio, and we basically would have 24 hours.
Yeah. And then Saturday mornings with Ricky Minor at Capitol Records.
Doing strings.
Big orchestra and then big choir.
It was a blast.
Yeah. Ricky was also on the podcast.
Oh,
what a legend.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah,
I see he lives in your neighborhood. And
my neighbor, yeah.
And I see him all the time in my neighborhood eating at our fine restaurants around town. I love Ricky.
Your neighborhood, so did you end up buying a city block in your neighborhood?
Yeah, I bought a city block. That's exactly what I did.
And what do you do with it? Did you put some...
I have a zoo.
A zoo? No way.
Yes, we have a zoo.
No.
I have chickens and lots of pets. And no, I did not buy a city block.